WDW Radio, your information station.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to WDW Radio Live and the WDW Newscast. Today is Wednesday, September 19th, 2012. I am Lou Mongello from WDW Radio, trying to help you have the best possible Disney vacation experience, bringing you a little bit of Disney magic when you can't get to the parks as often as you can with the Newscast, my weekly audio podcast, videos, blog, live shows like this, events, trivia books, audio guides, and lots more. Today is Talk Like a Pirate Day, but I promise you I will not be talking like a pirate for the entire newscast today because I want to get to the news and we have a lot from it. Let's go right into the Disney theme parks because in just over a week, Epcot Center is about to celebrate its 30th anniversary. And on Sunday, September 30th, we're going to have a lot of events, a full day's schedule from D23, the official Disney fan club. But the Disney Parks blog released just today that on October 1st, there are going to be some activities and events and special things going on for guests as well, too. Everyone who attends and visits Epcot on October 1st, the actual 30th anniversary day, is going to receive a limited edition button, a souvenir guide map, and an invitation to presentations over in Epcot's World Showplace. So there is going to be, in addition to the paid event on September 30th, there's also going to be a number of panels with limited seating. So from 1 to 2 p.m., there's going to be Designing the Future, Past and Present, which is going to be a panel of Disney Imagineers remembering 30 years of building the future. From 4 to 6, and then from 6:30 to 8, Marty Sklar, the Marty Sklar, legendary Disney Imagineer, is going to give 2 presentations on Epcot, how it changed the world. So looking forward to seeing that. And there's also going to be an anniversary moment over at the American Gardens Theater at 3 p.m. Some Disney executives, some Disney leaders, and a performance by the Mariachi Cobre and the Voices of Liberty. Yeah. It's like a trifecta of Disney talent and experiences are going to be there. Again, limited seating for that as well, too, although you can normally stand on the promenade to enjoy that. That night, October 1st, there's going to be a special showing of Illuminations, Reflections of Earth with a special 30th anniversary tag. Looking forward to seeing that. If you've seen the Christmas tags and the other holiday tags, you know they love to really do it up really big with the special edition tags as well. Also, on the Parks blog this week, they showed some photos of some very special Epcot 30th anniversary limited edition and not so limited edition merchandise as well. Stephen Miller from the Parks blog showed a selection of shirts, hats, other 30th anniversary items that are available, and there's going to be additional updates coming next week as well. So here you can see some large pins, some toothpick holders. There are also other pins as well with retro Epcot logos, a lot of different shirts, very one reminiscent of the early Epcot preview guides, as well as shirts and hats that have some of our good friends on there like Figment and some very cool retro style logos that I believe are going to be available in both men's and women's cuts. And I think we're going to see even more coming next week. I'm going to be there for the D23. I'm going to be there all weekend. We've got the, you too?
Oh, I'll be there.
We've got the e-ticket event Friday night,
Yep.
Food and Wine, Tower of Terror 10-miler. We've got D23 on Sunday and Epcot's 30th on Monday. And just to let you know, Monday morning, we're going to have a special live broadcast from Epcot. We're going to announce the winners for our charity auction that's going to go on online from Friday to Sunday, and going to have some other special announcements as well.
I will be there.
Things you didn't even know about as well, too. All right.
You sure?
Moving forward, looking backwards, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is coming back to the parks, sort of. We saw this out in Disneyland. We also saw it over at Comic-Con and the E3 Expo. But the Oswald the Lucky Rabbit ear hats, not sort of the double ears, but the long, floppy rabbit ears, are going to be available at the Disney parks late October, early November. They're going to have a red logo on the front as opposed to the ones that you could get at E3 and Comic-Con. Those are going to retail for about $16.95. I know a lot of people, when we saw them for Destination D out in Disneyland, were really excited and glad to see those coming to the parks as well.
You got Epic Mickey 2 coming out. So
Lots of good, listen, I keep saying, it's a good time, it's a great time to be a Disney fan,
Oh, yeah.
right? And if you're a princess fan, Have I
Which
got
I
news
am.
for you? Of course, you are, like Jason Grant, the boy princess, because we've seen in the past from Imagineering some of the concept art for the new Fantasyland Princess Fairy Tale Hall. We've seen the exterior concept art, obviously going in the former home of Snow White's Scary Adventures. We've seen the outside, and now we're going to get a glimpse of the inside as well, too. This is set to open in fall 2013. And if you look carefully at this concept art, if you're watching live or via YouTube or on the blog, you'll see some portraits of the princesses above where their individual meet and greet locations are. The princesses are going to be standing in front of individual stained glass windows portraying images from the respective films. And if you look really carefully, you see Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, you see Tiana, some elements from Princess and the Frog there as well too. Again, that's going to open not with the rest of New Fantasyland on December 6th or November 19th as a soft opening, but that's going to be later in fall 2013. But we see work is clearly going on that as well too. There's other news from the parks that I'm going to touch on. We're going to come back to the parks later. I want to save this for last. I want to have an interesting conversation with you guys. Let's go over to the resorts, like here. We're obviously at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, and kids and moms and dads, it's your last chance. Your last chance. Time is going. It's your last chance for free dining, which really for me is like music to my ears. Free dining, if you book now through September 29th, you can buy a non-discounted, so sort of a rack rate, Magic Your Way base package for 6 nights and 7 days at moderate, deluxe, and Disney Villa Resorts for most nights from September 29th through December 13th. You get the Disney dining plan, get this kids, for free. Food and free, that's like it's like New Jersey and you. It's perfect together. If you buy a non-discounted Magic Your Way package at a value resort, you get the free quick service plan there as well too, which also, we just ate quick service tonight here. That's a lot of food too. You do it right, you can eat very, very well, I promise you. I would suggest going to an authorized Disney vacation planner like my friends over at mousefantravel.com. They'll give you a free, no obligation quote, definitely help you book your trip with free. And if you can't eat all your food, call me, I'm here, I'll be happy to share it with you. Speaking of resorts and, well, not things that are free, but Art of Animation, right? Art of Animation, which immerses guests in the stories of Cars and Finding Nemo and The Lion King, has celebrated the opening of the 4th and final stage, which is the Little Mermaid section, which opened this past weekend on September 15th. These rooms, unlike the family suites, are designed to accommodate up to 4 guests. The standard rooms have 2 double beds and touches of, you can see little friends like Ariel, Sebastian, and Flounder coming in. There are 3 themed courtyards with pools, a poolside bar, playgrounds, and a water play area. You can see here one of the large icons of Ursula. There's also a great icon that we've seen in concept art of King Triton as well. We'll have to make our way over there. Love Art of Animation. Landscape of Flavors, you guys ate there tonight.
Fantastic.
2 huge thumbs up from the collective Crispies over here. Prices range for the Little Mermaid rooms. They range from about $94 in value season up to about $175, $179 in holiday seasons. Comparatively, the family suites run from about $248 up to the low 400s in the highest year. But again, with those family suites, you're able to accommodate up to 6 guests. You've got a kitchen, you've got a lot more room to sort of spread out there. But I need to go and check out the Little Mermaid rooms. Favorite section of Art of Animation?
I didn't say Cars, actually.
Cars. A lot of big thumbs up for the Cars section. You need to go to Cars Land. You'll be blown away, I promise you. Let's go beyond the parks. Really briefly, I want to go over to Downtown Disney because the AMC Downtown Disney 24, beautiful movie theater, seen the Avengers there 3 times, is now offering something called sensory-friendly film showings for guests with autism, right? Which I think is really nice. I think it's wonderful. You know, Disney is so accommodating to guests with special needs, whether they be dietary or otherwise. So they are going to have showings with lower sound levels, brighter in-theater lighting, and lifting the ban on moving and talking and wandering about during the film. This initiative started in some of the AMC theaters in the Northeast, and it's going to take place on one Saturday morning each month at 10 a.m. So it's not like it's going to be the 8 p.m. show, or maybe you want to bring the whole family. September 22nd, Finding Nemo. October 13th, Frank and Weenie. November 10th, you got to go see Wreck-It Ralph. And December 8th, Rise of the Guardians. I dig it. I dig them all. I really applaud AMC and Disney for doing this. We know a lot of guests. We have people who contribute on the blog who themselves or have family members who have autism. I think this is really a welcome thing. And I hope, too, that this is something that maybe they continue beyond this trial run. So I want to go back to the parks, right? I wanted to save the big news, and I think the most significant news of the week for the very end of the show, because there's something that I think none of us saw coming, right? So even those of us who follow the parks very closely never saw coming the announcement that there was going to be alcohol served in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. Starting on December 6th, we talked about this before, the new Fantasyland will open, including the Be Our Guest restaurant, which is going to be an upscale dining atmosphere serving fine French cuisine. Additionally, they're going to serve 20 varieties of French and California wines available by the bottle, or most likely for most people, are also going to be available by the glass. There's also 4 varieties of French and Belgian beer. And this is something that has gotten a lot of people talking, both online and in person about this, because again, not something we've ever seen in Walt Disney World's 40-year history. But the Vice President of Food and Beverage and Merchandise Operations, Maribeth Bessonnier, thank you, said, quote, it hasn't really made sense before, but it makes sense when you're in a French restaurant. You can't walk into a French restaurant and not get a glass of wine and beer. It makes more sense to do it than not to do it. As part of the overall theming, we wanted to offer wine that enhances the guest experience and complements the French-inspired cuisine. That's Stuart McGuire, the beverage director, said that as well too. Again, the wines are going to primarily focus on France's famous wine-growing regions, including Champagne, Alsace, Loire, Rhone, Burgundy, and Bordeaux. Again, this is very much tied into the theming. This is going to be a much more upscale restaurant. It's going to have a majestic ballroom with giant 20-foot ceilings, elegant chandeliers, 18-foot tall windows, sort of overlooking the Imagineered French countryside. There's going to be a rose gallery. There's going to be the dramatic West Wing, sort of that warm glow of the Beast's Enchanted Rose. And when you have a menu that is not, like we keep saying, it's not burgers and fries, it's thyme-scented pork rack chop with au gratin pasta, rotisserie rock hen, pan-seared salmon, grilled strip steak, sautéed shrimp, and oven-baked ratatouille. They want to have things that not just complement the decor and the story, but complement the food as well too. And it was interesting to watch the immediate and sort of the long tail reactions as you guys are nodding, because I think, again, this is not something we've ever seen in Walt Disney World before. However, it's not the first time we've seen it inside of a Disney park. Disneyland Paris has been serving alcohol from its opening day. Now, obviously, there are cultural differences, right? There are cultural differences in terms of how and when they drink and attitudes towards alcohol. In Disneyland, they don't serve alcohol inside the park, but they do, and they always have served it at Club 33. I understand it is private, but it is in the park. And so when I hear people talking about, what would Walt think? Walt is rolling over in his grave. I think the funniest thing I saw on Twitter was the Mayans were right. The apocalypse is coming, which may have been somewhat of an overstatement for the introduction of wine. But I think what this represents is Disney's understanding that people want a drink of wine or beer with their dinner. It's not in the park. It is sort of in an enclosed venue. When they talk about Walt, I've looked and I've never actually found a quote from Walt saying, "I forever expressly prohibit the concept of alcohol in any of the Magic Kingdoms." And I know people were talking about the conversations that Walt had and the story that Walt had with Adolphus Busch about the theme park potentially being located in St. Louis. That wasn't about the concept of serving beer per se, but Busch wanted an exclusive right to serve the only alcoholic beverages in the park. I think weather and other factors played a factor in that as well too. I think there's a couple of important things to note as well too. You cannot take the beer and wine to go, right? That's very, very important because you're not going to have guests walking around the Magic Kingdom with a glass of wine. More importantly, you're not going to have kids, adults, when I say kids, I mean college-age kids, You're not going to have people walking around with cups of beer, drinking around the Magic Kingdom. They're not going to serve mixed drinks in there as well too. It's beverages that complement the food. I think that Disney listens to their guests. They heard that this is what guests wanted, right? They wanted upscale dining. They brought it in, and with that, it's not a place. Listen, they're not serving alcohol because the parents are just so stressed out from the day with the kids. But they want to have a nice meal. They want to have a nice maybe glass of wine with it. From a business perspective, clearly it is another revenue stream, and sometimes you need to sort of take a step back from being a fan and look at this as a business and understand that as well. I think too, from a guest dining experience, there are times that you're in the Magic Kingdom and you want to have a nice sit-down meal. You eventually leave the park, you'll come to the Grand Floridian, you'll come to one of the other resorts, and then go back. Well, now you don't have to do that. Now you can stay in the parks, still have a nice meal, much the same way you do at Epcot or Disney's Hollywood Studios. And I think this may attract more people into the park as well too, because now you have a completely new type of menu, new type of dining experience in there as well. There is no bar, right? So you can't walk into the Be Our Guest restaurant saddle. You can't pony up to the bar and say, give me a couple of shots of tequila. They're not serving Jell-O shots. And I say that half jokingly, but it's true, because there's a huge distinction between having a bar and having a restaurant that serves beer and wine. I think sometimes you need to sort of look at it from that as well. It does not impact or affect the in-park experience at all, right? And so this is my take on it. I know there are some people who feel adamantly the other way. Any comments from the studio audience?
It's weird, but the way you say it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Not going to be people wandering herds of drunks,
Right.
staggering out of the restaurant after dropping 150
Right.
bucks on a meal. It's not
The same way you don't see people stumbling out of Narcoossee's, like, woo, we just did shots of Narcoossee's, because it's a different type of a dining experience. And that's what I like about it. I like the fact that it's not a bar in there. Look, is this maybe a preface of things to come? Will we potentially see alcohol in other spots in the Magic Kingdom? Only time will tell. I look incredibly blue. I don't know why. That means I don't feel blue, but I look blue because of the lighting. So that is obviously the question of the week. This is the question that I have for you. I would love for you to weigh in the comments section on YouTube or on the blog or in the show notes over at WDWRadio.com. What's your take? What's your opinion about alcohol, beer and wine, being served at the Be Our Guest restaurant in the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World? Are you okay with it? Do you think Disney is maybe changing to accommodate the times, accommodate guest requirements or guest requests? If you don't like it, tell me why. Tell me what it is. I'm curious. There is no right or wrong answer. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. I'm looking inside the chat room. People are asking about limiting the number of drinks that you can order. I have not seen that. I think it certainly is going to go to the judging every case on its own. If you're chugging from the bottle of wine, they may want to ask you to slow it down a little bit. But again, don't necessarily expect that's a problem. Right, Small World 1, it's not like the parks have a lewd drunk problem. I don't think that's ever been an issue here. I certainly don't see it as well too. So yeah, no, so somebody's saying, well, somebody might be able to get sloppy drunk in the restaurant and ruin the experience for families unless they limit the drink limit. I think there's also a self-limiting factor that we have too. Again, we don't see this here at most of the Disney restaurants. I don't think that'll change just because it is inside of the Magic Kingdom. So again, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to keep this conversation going beyond tonight's newscast. Please subscribe to the show and comment below as well too. Also, a couple of quick reminders. Don't forget again about our e-ticket event. Tickets sold out. We added a couple of more seats due to demand. Tickets close out tonight. We've got some special guests. We've got Disney Imagineers like Jason Sorrell. We've got Disney legends like Charlie Ridgway. A lot of Disney artists, some other special guests, special surprises for you and me probably as well too. We've got our online charity auction starting Friday. You can visit the website, check out the blog. We've got some preview items up there already. All that money is going to go to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. So please go and make sure you visit the WDW Radio blog this week for more information. Also, tune in October 1st in the morning, probably 10 o'clock or so. I'll tweet and Facebook out when that's going to be. Going to have the auction winners, a special broadcast, and some special announcement as well too. I know I'm missing so much more, Scott Otis, but the Curiouser and Curiouser play area is calling behind me, and then we'll wait Next week, we'll see what they're doing right literally tonight over at Pirates of the Caribbean. Stay tuned for that. Mermaids. Who knows?
What?
Who knows what may be coming to Pirates of the Caribbean? But I want to thank you guys for tuning in this and every week. Be sure and join us every Wednesday night over at WDWRadioLive.com. And please do me a favor. If you like the show, please help spread the word. Tell your friends. Tweet it. Facebook it. Pinterest it. Google+. MySpace. Friend feed. Whatever.
Instagram.
Instagram. I'm on Instagram now. I'm Lou Mongello on Instagram. And I am Lou Mongello from WDW Radio. That is tonight's WDW Newscast. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope to see you in the box next week live or out here in person live out of the box. So until next time, I hope you guys have a great week, everybody. See ya.